right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's Quick Hits live training every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern for the digital packages in the Quick Hits newsletter. So we got a good schedule, good lineup today. We'll hear from news about the inauguration day. We'll get a look at the sponsorship of the week, which is a section just highlighting some great campaigns that were sold through. Then we'll hear from sports on golf and then wrap with games. Before we jump in, just a reminder and a call out that the digital sales all hands, it was originally scheduled for tomorrow, but it was moved to next Wednesday, February 3rd. So if you do still have a calendar invite for tomorrow, please remove it from your calendars. I wish I could, but there's some Outlook Gmail on. So it is scheduled and all set for next Wednesday, February 3rd. If you have any questions, just feel free to Slack or email me. Okay, so let's jump in. Who's over to Derica?
Natalie, hi everybody. I hope everyone was able to tune in for the inauguration. Fashion was back, music, a lot to talk about, amazing memes. I hope everybody has leaned into. But overall, it was like a huge moment of transition, not just for the country, but we're hoping for news as well, like setting a new tone as we go into 2020. And just focus on the issues at hand, which is something that we plan to do across news and talk about policy and how it's impacting everybody's lives. So we thought the inauguration was a good moment to reset that tone and just get consumers and our brands back into news and excited about what's to come for the year. It was especially exciting because I think it was a great example of the power of CBSN specifically. We saw viewership up 31% versus 2017 inauguration. Streams were up 63%. And you can see there was a really high average time spent in the streams, just showing the power of CBSN to reach people during pivotal events and keeping everyone informed. I think one stat that's in this intro paragraph that really jumps out is that the day of inauguration, CBSN had 15 hours of original coverage where our dedicated team of journalists was on the ground curating stories specifically for the CBSN audience. And I don't know if that's something that gets lost sometimes, but it's not just a restream of what's happening on network. This is a dedicated team creating content for this very specific audience. So I think that was important to call out. I also wanted to ask Lauren Morris if she wanted to speak to the inauguration experience from the side of an advertiser who partnered with us for the day.
Sure, thanks, Derica. So we worked hand in hand with Derica and team to get a package in front of the Showtime team, who had expressed serious interest in an inauguration sponsorship package. And so, I think it went without question that this was going to be, a very huge moment in time, highly viewed, certainly a very premium package for them to align with. And so we got very far down the line in terms of conversations, and they were just looking for a little bit more from a sponsorship perspective, like a little bit more exposure. They had their 8 positions locked in. They knew that they were going to have that premium positioning, but they just needed a little bit more. And so we went back to Derica and team, and they were able to come up with a creative solution here in order to make Showtime feel like they were more integrated into the inauguration package. And so what we did was we offered them a lower third sort of on-screen graphic that appeared during actual inauguration coverage, which was a huge win. The Showtime clients loved it. And what happened was they had initially signed on for a 75K package. And because we went above and beyond for them, they came back and added 30K to the deal, bringing it up to a total of 105K. So they were super happy. It was easy, to work with the IM team. And I think everybody pulling all of their resources together to push this package along was extremely helpful, and it was a win across the board for all of us.
Thanks, Lauren. Just a heads up, there is a link, obviously, in Quick Hits to this, so please feel free to share with clients and just to talk about the momentum we have going into 2020 around news.
That's awesome. Okay, great recap with that. Okay, up next is the sponsorship of the week. Lauren is back, as well as Catherine. If you guys want to, if you want to talk to the sponsorship first, and then we have a fun clip to show you guys.
So Catherine, you wanted me to jump in and speak to the RFP process first, or?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
So Heineken came to us looking to, partner with us in a big way surrounding UEFA. They specifically told us that they wanted to go big here. In other properties like NFL, they felt it was a very saturated marketplace and they just really couldn't, break through the crowd there. But they wanted to win in soccer, utilizing their unmissable moments creative. So what we did was made sure that we put together a package that aligned them with every single highlights, content series that we were pushing out across all of our platforms, really driving home that unmissable moments sort of thematic. And we won big with them. They ended up signing on as the official halftime sponsor. They sponsor the Golazo show where we have all of our highlights. Obviously, we're running highlights within halftime. They have their own side set that we rebranded and named the Heineken Halftime House. Heineken was looking for us to have product on set, and while we didn't feel like having beer bottles on set was true to the Viacom CBS brand, we were able to get approval from production to actually have visuals of their Heineken bottles on the screens, on the large screens during halftime, during their Unmissable Moments segment, which was a great compromise and a huge win. And then they also signed on as the social highlights 90 and 9 sponsor as well. Matt Michael was huge in getting that deal sold through. I think there were a lot of hesitations with the pricing there. They felt like if they had, from a social perspective, if they go directly to Facebook or to YouTube, they'll get, more efficient pricing, but because we're a premium publisher, we charge a premium rate. But Matt Michael jumped on the line there, ironed out all those details, and we ended up getting $500K total for that social package, which is the biggest CBS Sports social extension to date. So props to Matt for getting us across the line there. But overall, I think, everyone worked together to make sure that we were checking every single box here, making sure that Heineken was aligning with every single highlight package we had available, and that we did indeed go big for them. And I think it was a huge success.
Yeah, so now I can just chime in more from the integrated marketing side. So as many of you know, CBS Sports acquired the rights to Champions League last summer. So selling sponsorship opportunities to Champions League official sponsors was a huge priority for us. And we were extremely happy that we were able to close this deal with Heineken at $1.5 million. The game day sponsorship package that we offered to the Heineken team consisted of UEFA live streaming, a K Golazo halftime show, which was simulcast on CBS All Access and Linear, an Unmissable Moments feature, which was hosted in our Heineken Halftime House, a CBS Sports HQ Champions League post-match show, and a social extended highlights package. So one important note on this package that Lauren also touched on is the price tag. We secured $500,000 for social, which is our largest social investment to date. So it was a big, big win for our social team. And then we complemented these custom sponsorships with a UEFA targeted skybox on cbssports.com. I just want to give a shout out to my team, Matt Michael, Jeremy Bache, and Molly Brown, and just say thank you all for your assistance both in creating the sponsorship package and executing the sponsorship. And we look forward to continuing the executions in February with the return of Champions League on February 16th. So now I would like to show you a sizzle reel highlighting the execution.
Very warm welcome back to our coverage here, the Heineken Halftime Report. It's good to have you with us. And let's take you straight over to the Heineken Halftime House where our team is standing by with their unmissable moment.
The technique in the air to do that.
Astounding.
Astounding. Ball comes in from Alba, and oh my.
That's an unmissable moment as well.
Catch us after the break. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more goals in the next part.
Go.
Extended highlights presented by Heineken.
Looking on as his team defend, and it's into Joao Felix!
Superb attacking play, getting across that near post.
Beyond Forsberg, it could come to Angelino! Whipped in by Angelino, Haidara 2! Just a little clip on it, and Benzema scored again!
Hey, welcome in to the Heineken post-game show.
They really thought they were left for dead. They end up winning the group.
that speaks to their quality and their experience.
Cuadrado. Oh, brilliantly finished.
I think the best golazo of the group stage.
To get a clean sheet in a Champions League match is a very tall task, very commendable. So hats off to Zach Steffen, great performance.
It's all looking really good. Everything's going in the right direction for the United States.
It's your Heineken unmissable moment. Jadon Sancho's second Champions League golazo.
Out comes Onana. Muriel is around him.
But between the boxes, Leipzig have been the best team.
Hazard.
He comes back with hunger in his belly, and he's had a really good game today.
Erling Haaland is on his way to being one of the best strikers the world has ever seen.
We'll find out after the break.
So that's all from our side, Natalie. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. And with UEFA returning in February, you can find all of our remaining available sponsorship opportunities on DocSend.
Awesome. Great to see that come to life there. Okay, cool. So a couple or another sports update.
Very warm welcome back.
Here we go. Sports. Okay, so now we're on to golf with Pete.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have an exciting sizzle to go along with golf, but it is golf season. Golf is back on CBS Sports starting this weekend. Obviously kind of crazy to believe, seeing as how we have the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks, but golf season is back. So if we go to the next slide. Yeah, so I guess all of our kind of sports GPs for this year are going to start with some level of recognition of the global pandemic and how that absolutely derailed the sports world among everything else. So, that brought about a ton of changes last year for live sports, and golf was no different. But ultimately, kind of the message that we want to be underscoring with our clients and out in the marketplace with is that the fact remains unchanged, that we are and continue to be the home of golf. This year's golf schedule is jam-packed with live events. We're the home of the Masters and PGA Championships, so the first two major tournaments of the year. And then we'll get into more details around, some of the franchise and custom sponsorship positions and opportunities that we have. Obviously social, branded content and influence, all these things at our disposal to kind of build out a well-rounded and 360 golf proposal for any of the clients. So a couple of things to note, as I just alluded to last year, 2020 season, 11 tournaments were canceled and 9 more were postponed, and not bringing that up to beat the dead horse, but I'm bringing that up because as you'll see throughout this deck, a lot of the metrics that we provide here are actually from our 2019 season. So kind of goes without saying that with the way things kind of shook out last year, providing 2020 metrics really just wouldn't be a fair way to represent how well and how engaged we reach the golf audience. So we are using, for the most part, 2019 metrics. That there are some exceptions to that, obviously, for big tournaments like the Masters and PGA Championship, where those were postponed and still played. We do have 2020 numbers for those, but on the whole, we want to be painting the most kind of complete apples to apples picture of like what we can expect from a metric standpoint across our site, HQ, and all of those engagement metrics. So I did want to just quickly call that out. I think 2021 is shaping up to be a really exciting year in golf. If you are a golf fan, if you are not, it's probably not going to be terribly exciting for you, but Dustin Johnson just came off a really dominant and kind of historic year and is cruising into this year as the world number one. Tiger Woods had his 5th back surgery. So it seems like whatever Tiger does, there's always Tiger watch. So a lot of people are going to be wondering if he can bounce back from that and continue his pursuit of Jack Nicklaus's major championship record. Bottom line is we'll be there covering all of it from a live perspective, as well as ancillary across our site and HQ. So yeah, some fun metrics just to throw out in terms of demonstrating our golf audience and how we are home to golf enthusiasts. we've got some quick demo breakouts for our PGA live streamers. I think some folks might be surprised just to see that. I think it goes without saying that golf tends to skew a little bit older. Millennial and Gen X males are really kind of the core of our audience, but there's a pretty sizable audience that is, in that 18 to 34 range. Almost a third of our PGA live streamers fit into that demographic, which is a little bit surprising. So definitely making some gains in some of the younger demographic areas. Obviously, I think, whenever you talk about golf, we generally note just typically it's an affluent audience base, one with, disposable income to spend on, luxury and high-end products, et cetera. So did want to just call those to your attention when we're outlining who our golf audience is. This slide we love. If you've sat through any of our sports presentations, I think you probably recognize it, as we tend to use it across a lot of our GPs. But for those of you who might be engaging with clients and brands who haven't historically bought golf, or maybe they have historically bought golf, but they buy it with our competitors, I think this is, regardless, a great slide to put in front of them. Really kind of just demonstrating our unrivaled coverage. And that spans everything from our live events. We have 20 total events. So PGA Tour events, 18, then plus our 2 major tournaments with the Masters, and then PGA Champ. And then just kind of running down, some of our other offerings. I think when it comes to offering custom sponsorship positions, especially across HQ, our site from an editorial perspective, social, and then our daily podcast, The First Cut. No one can kind of claim that positioning like we can. And then, as I alluded to earlier, obviously the amount of capabilities that we have from a branded content perspective, and then clearly with the influence team now, and partnerships that we have with the likes of Players Tribune, there's just a lot of different ways that we can kind of tackle golf as it relates to a media campaign and buy. So this is a great slide just to get out in front of your clients, just to demonstrate how we are the leader in the space. Another one, just kind of outlining how we compare and stack up to the competition. So generally, if brands are interested in golf, they want to be reaching golfers or golf fans. This is just quick numbers, and we don't have to run through all of them. Absolutely encourage you to check out the entire deck on DocSend at your leisure. But just a quick snapshot of how we perform against golfers, so those who have actively participated in golf in the last 12 months, and then golf fans, compared to, those golf endemic sites, which have historically consisted of Golf Digest, golf.com, PGAtour.com, and NBC Sports, who's, really kind of our predominant rival in the space. But when you do look at the numbers in terms of, the golfers and golf fans that we're reaching, it's really not even close in terms of our reach and scale. Opportunities. So I'm not going to run through all of our opportunities. I think we're trying to do a better job of keeping these concise for you guys and allow you all to kind of go through the decks at your leisure. But just a few areas that we focus on, like anything, live action is definitely, the core of our offering. So PGA live streaming. And then this year, just want to be able to open up that offering beyond our live streaming to tap into Pluto TV. Which we'll get into on the next slide, but they have a dedicated PGA channel, which is a great way for us to kind of tack on additional reach and scale to a traditional live streaming plan. Tentpole events, like I said, Masters, PGA Champ, Ryder Cup got pushed back to this year. We still do cover all the other major tournaments, even though we don't have broadcast or streaming rights. We will still cover them in depth. We cover every tournament in depth. So. But as far as tentpole events goes, really the Masters, PGA Champ, and Ryder Cup are going to be the ones that kind of stand out this year on the 2021 calendar. So definitely sponsorship opportunities and ways for us to get creative and custom around those. I will caution that the Masters is very difficult. That is really a space that's only open to Masters official partners. We get a lot of requests around brands wanting to sponsor Masters content and buy the Masters. And unfortunately, it is just not an opportunity unless you are an official Masters partner. And then some of the franchise opportunities. So reoccurring sponsorships that we have that we know are kind of tried and true and perform really well for us, like expert picks, power rankings, etc. And obviously, like I said, our podcast, The First Cut, is a daily podcast where, we're integrating those guys into HQ. They've obviously got the audio portion of things. We're bringing them into the social space a bit more this year. So there's tons of opportunities there. And then in the appendix, we'll just have, additional information around our HQ audience and some category intelligence information as well. Yeah, so I just wanted to touch base on this quickly. Like I said, we're trying to do a much better job of making sure where we can specific to sports, and I'm sure in the entertainment and news area as well. But specific to this, we're really trying to do a good job of tapping into our resources and capabilities by bringing Pluto TV into the fold. So if you are talking to a client that is interested in a PGA live streaming buy, let's definitely have a conversation around including Pluto TV as part of that. It is a really natural and an obvious way to extend our PGA live reach. Pluto TV has live featured holes for select tournaments, as well as highlights, interviews, player profiles, and storytelling across the PGA Tour. So it's golf-centric content that's essentially living in a digital/linear environment. So definitely something to please keep in mind whenever you're having these live streaming conversations. Another area of focus for us this year is just doing a better job of being able to kind of communicate out to all of you where we have opportunities to sell sponsorships or anything really in the programmatic space as it relates to sports. So what we've done, and you'll see in greater detail in the deck, we've worked with Yuki and team and just kind of outlined what sponsorship opportunities that we have that can be bought programmatically. I think just a quick PSA on that front, make sure that whenever, programmatic conversations are coming up or could potentially be in play, please make sure you're working with Yuki and team and the programmatic team when pitching, just so everyone is on the same page. They're there to help and be a resource, and we just don't want anyone going rogue. But more to kind of dive in this space when you get into the deck. And
I think that
yeah, so that should be it. A couple of quick things. One, just a quick shout out to Andre, Molly, and Justin for their help on the deck. Like I said, please take time to go through it. Reach out to myself with any questions. And then quickly, I do want to kick it over to Evan Noonan, who is our sports COE lead here, has lots of experience selling golf, oftentimes is wearing golf attire on Zooms. So this is all very fitting.
Thanks, Pete. From a sales perspective, that there's not going to be a ton of interest around golf outside of kind of endemics there. There are some interesting ways we can kind of bring them into the fold. Pete did mention that a lot of people are interested in Masters opportunities, and really the best way to kind of help them out there and get them really close to the action, as close as they can get to the action, is through homepage takeovers, which can definitely eat up a lot of budget there for you, and then also really provide a high share of voice on the day of the tournaments. The other thing to call out is you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be surprised to see how young our golf coverage is, as Pete kind of alluded to on the slide. It's over 20 years younger than what you see from a broadcast angle, which shouldn't be surprising. But the other thing that to note is a lot of our weekend broadcasts are feature people that are out and about, close to the point of purchase. If you have someone who's a retail client or what have you, or just even dining clients as well. And then, this also fills a nice little void in the middle of summer where there's not a ton of nationally televised sports. So once again, weekends out and about, close to point of purchase. And then the last thing I'll say is that slide where we talk about, our scale with golf fans and golfers. Most of the time when you're fielding questions around golf, you're going to be talking to people who are really, like Pete said, interested in reaching the golf fans and leveraging their sponsorships and whatnot. And it's just a good way to showcase, they might go out there and look for the golf endemic brands like Golf Digest, but we're just crushing them as far as scale is concerned, and you can kind of get everything that you get from those other advertisers in one spot with us. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're always here to help. Your COEs can address all this stuff as well.
Cool. That's it for us.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Pete and Evan. Great rundown on golf. All right, last up to take us home, I'll pass it over to Josh to talk about B2B and games.
Awesome. Thanks, Natalie. Hey guys, hope everyone's well. I'm going to keep this really short, we've only got a few minutes left, but also knowing that this has been presented to most of the sales teams anyway. So just kind of recapping the CMG pivot documents that we created. Obviously, we have lost the CMG brands, but we're obviously still receiving a lot of CMG RFPs that are looking to target those audiences, so namely tech, business, and gaming. So we created these documents to just sort of like help pivot those existing opportunities across our network and make sure we're still sort of reaching those audiences with relevant opportunities. So I think, is there the next slide?
Yeah, yes, so sorry, let me just pull it up.
You're good. Having troubles. Okay, I'll keep chatting.
Okay.
Anyway, so the first sort of doc that we created is a really kind of like simple doc. It's really sort of treated as kind of like a starting point. So when you receive any of those RFPs, refer to the CMG Pivot Playbook. It's broken into sort of each audience section. So we've got a section there for tech, gaming, and business. And what we've done is kind of collated a lot of directional information and just sort of like contextual turnkey sponsorships as well that we can refer to and easily pivot. So for example, if you're looking to reach a tech audience, obviously CNET's no longer available to us, but a really great organic pivot would be to CBS News and something like the Tech Today sponsorship. If you're looking to reach a business audience with ZDNet now left, we can pivot to CBS Sports. We know that the sort of C-suite audience there and the business BDM audience there index is really high. So there's a correlation there of some really great opportunities that we can pivot to. Also in that doc, we've listed out a lot of the audience targeting segments that we have, third-party audience targeting segments that we have that we'll be able to sort of pull and run across our media and video buys across the network to still sort of effectively reach those audiences. The second document that we have up there is the games pivot doc. So Denny, Beats, and Ryan worked on this. They did a really great job. Obviously, this one specifically looks at the gaming audience and really sort of deep dives into the industry in general and a lot of sort of market research. Who is the gaming audience? Where can they be found across our network and the sites that on our network that really pop? And also collates all the sort of more custom opportunities. So branded programming and influencer sort of concepts. There's a lot of tactical video approaches and solutions in there, as well as sort of marketing innovations, which is great. And then lastly, sorry, Natalie, I'm making you jump around here, but lastly is the B2B pivot doc. So this one was created by David, Tara, and Amanda. Again, super awesome job collating a whole bunch of really sort of intricate information. But again, deep diving into that sort of business landscape, defining audiences, and again, sort of identifying where that business audience is across our network and which sites really pop and index well. Again, collating a bunch of contextual sponsorships, branded programming and influencer concepts that we can work with, video solutions, data targeting, and ad innovations as well. So these are all up on DocSend. Again, I know these were presented to the sales team more in depth, but we just sort of wanted to touch on it again and remind you guys that they're there and up on DocSend for you to use. And obviously any RFPs that come in that you need help with, just log a case, and Client Solutions will obviously be able to assist sort of pivoting to some of those opportunities that we still have on our network. So thanks.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much, Josh. That actually maybe worked better. So, all right, that's it for today's Quick Hits Live training. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll stay on for another couple minutes if there's any questions on DocSend or anything else. Otherwise, we're all set for today. So thanks again.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you. Yeah, any questions? If anyone has any materials or comms related questions, shoot them out, shout them out. Hi, Julia. Oh, I think you might be on mute. Nicole, I just saw your email too.
Cool.
Good. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, I don't think we've met over Zoom or in person, so nice to meet you. Okay, yes, Julia.
Yeah, mine was just a quick DocSend uploading question. So basically, it's a slide that existed in a particular location on DocSend within like the news folder, and somehow it got replaced with another kind of deck presentation.
Is this the watch?
Yeah, the watch series one. So I just want to put the watch series slide back in its correct spot.
Yes. Okay. So you'll just go to, if you go to that DocSend like page of where that watch series document was, and then here I'll just share my screen, just as if anyone else might have a similar question. And we're going to start having the more DocSend regularly optional for people to join in, because a lot of DocSend has like a lot of stuff going on, a lot of new features all the time. So we want to keep everyone feeling good about how to use it and new stuff that's coming up. Okay, so here is DocSend. Here we go. Okay, so you would go for this specific example to the, if this was.
Yes, it's that one.
Okay, yes. So to kind of copy over it, you would just go to this icon, upload new version. And then you should just be able to pull it from your desktop or wherever it's saved.
Perfect. And then it'll save over.
Yes, and it'll show up when you do update any document, which all of IM integrated marketing should have access to do that. You'll see in this, on each DocSend page, there's these 3 tabs. On the performance page, you'll see that there's different versions. So when you upload version 3, you could still see who, turn these on, which did version 3 perform better than version 1 or 2, or what people are looking at most. So when you upload over a document, you can't download those past ones, but you could still like see them in DocSend.
Awesome. But basically just clicking that icon, uploading the correct slide, and that's all that I would need to do for this purpose.
Correct. That's it.
Okay. That's awesome. Super helpful.
Yes. Yeah. Great. Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, I might hop off, but thank you, Natalie. Appreciate it.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, thank you. Okay. Hi, Nicole. Hi. So let me, so you're still having trouble logging into this.
Yes. Sorry, I was on mute. Hi, it's finally nice to see you.
Hi, yes, you too.
Yes. So what I've noticed is that the difference between the DocSends, I have capability to go into the training series, not have the DocSend Enterprise. I have the DocSend Advanced Trial that is a part of Viacom, and I have and it says active company Viacom. I have tried to delete this version and it just keeps populating. So I feel like that might be the reason why. And I've even emailed the IT for DocSend, but if there's someone, or if you can help me with this, that would be great. I changed my name based on what you had asked.
Okay.
As well for the settings, it doesn't seem like it's working.
Okay, that's yeah, I don't know. This comes up a lot where some users have the trial account, and then it usually, if you just switch your email to like a dummy email, then the Viacom CBS sales Doxin instance should recognize your real email and add you in here. Like, I'm pretty sure.
So
like
it's funny because I have it right there as Nicole. Okay, maybe I should change it to Pluto and see.
Is this your primary email, the @pluto.tv?
That is my email.
Okay, great. And then, so sorry, in your trial account, did you change that to like @CBSI?
I did, and then nothing happened.
Okay.
So I'm going to try it right now.
Okay.
Back to Pluto, and see if it changes that. It says confirm your new email from your inbox. Okay, great. So that should come up any moment now.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully that fixes it, and if it doesn't, then I'll talk to IT, because it might just be like a refresh on their side or something.
Okay. Let me check to see if it's going into my spam as well. I don't mean to keep you.
Or if you go into your Okta and click on DocSend, wherever it is, then that might be, or did you do that last time? That might also kind of
refresh.
Like refresh. Yeah, that might help.
I will do that as well. That might take me some time.
Yeah,
to get to it.
No problem. And then did anyone else, just while you're checking, Nicole, did anyone else have any questions about DocSend or anything else, comms related, or? I stepped away.
Well, I will let you know how this works.
Okay.
From my side, hopefully, I think what I'm going to do is try to exit out of everything. I have a lot of windows open on top of that just to make sure that.
I know, I need to do this. It's like, how does they accumulate like to 1 million? I don't know, so fast.
I know. But great job as usual. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great to meet you. And I'm so sorry that this is such a pain. Hopefully it's resolved today. But if it doesn't work, then let me know and we'll get our Doxin rep involved. And then so excited to work with you on Pluto.
Yes. It's a pleasure. It's so many people to meet. So it's great to meet you, and it's great to meet Anne and team. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you.
Yes. Okay, great. We're excited too. Okay, great. So I'll just let me know about DocSend later today or tomorrow. Okay.
Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you. Okay, bye.